defense. It'll be Emma Dawson that comes into the starting lineup with Rebecca Jarrett out tonight. That'll push Cagle to that wide right winger position. But it's Hopkins up top. We talked about her linking up with Godfrey. Hopkins, a true number 9, can play back to goal, but also so dangerous within the box. Something that Florida State's defense is going to need to keep an eye on tonight.
An incredible collection of talent between these two teams as we take our moment of unity. Used to seeing this now for the last few years here in the ACC.
Thank you.
Great crowd on hand here at Klockner Stadium in Charlottesville for this matchup between two heavyweights in the ACC, ranked number 2 and 3 in the country coming into this one. Virginia number 2, Florida State on the road in Garnet, number 3. And it will be the Seminoles starting off with the ball. Leilani Nesbitt to the back line, an area that also saw just a ton of turnover for the Seminoles as they came into this season, really losing some key pieces off that back line. How much will they be forced to defend tonight against this Virginia team? This is certainly the biggest test that this Florida State team has faced yet this year.
Yeah, and I think for Virginia as well. I mean, both of these teams, they want to keep possession. They have the ability to find moments in transition. So it's going to be about taking care of the ball when you do have it. Make sure you don't leave yourself exposed in those transitional moments on a quick counterattack.
Seminoles now charging up the field. There's Neiswanger. This falls to Jody Brown in the box, and it's an early goal. The Seminoles striking in the opening seconds of this one.
And it's a dream start for Florida State away from home here at Klockner Stadium. Just end up finding a 3v2 situation against Virginia's back line. Jody Brown doesn't miss from that area. Her 4th goal of the season. You can see the press. 3v2 situation, just fortuitously bounces to Jody Brown. She just roosts it to the top net to put the Seminoles up early on in this game in the first minute.
Florida State goal scored by number 10.
And this is an area of the Florida State team that they've added to their game, not just possession oriented, but will go a little bit more direct. We see them do that in this first minute, and Jody Brown doesn't miss.
4th goal of the season for Jody Brown. She's played internationally for Jamaica. And Lori, does this change things right off the bat, this quick early goal for Florida State?
Well, I think it does. I think if you're Virginia, you settle in right away, start playing your game, see if you can put pressure on Florida State. Nothing to lose now, you have to go for it, but you also have to be smart. Take care of the ball, keep the ball, move it quickly. But you have plenty of time to get yourself back into this game.
Clara Robbins just cleared that ball out of bounds, by far the most experienced on this Florida State team. Number 26 in the middle for the Seminoles. Member of 2 national championships dating back to 2018 and last year's. Of course, the Seminoles defending ACC and national champs. And one of 6 remaining teams in the country unbeaten in their overall record. Lauren Flynn passes it back to Christina Roque. You mentioned there has been that rotation in goal for the Seminoles. They've gone back and forth between Roque and Mia Justice since Justice returned from the U20 World Cup, where she was competing with the U.S. team. It's tremendous experience, though, for Roque, for sure. The junior out of Winter Garden, Florida. Really the main goalkeeper last season for the Seminoles on their run to the NCAA championship. 9 shutouts last year. But a lot of different faces in front of her. You got Lauren Flynn. She's been there, but Gilchrist, a freshman. Ron Ey drops back. There's a collision. And our referee, Julio Carranza, calling the foul. Give the ball to the Seminoles.
But this is how Virginia's going to have to defend, aggressive, going forward, looking to see if they can win the first and second balls, get themselves back into this game immediately, but pick and choose their times when they're going to press, when they're going to go after this Seminoles back line. Guidry already starting off well, winning that initial ball. She did get called a foul, and now getting it returned, drawing the foul, and Virginia back into possession.
Kayla White in goal for the Cavaliers. The 2 center backs in front of her. Stouty and Constant. That's Stouty, and now passes it over to Constant. Some good connections as the Cavaliers move up the field. Crowd urging the Cavs on as the ball's in the box. It is not cleared well by Florida State. Here is Godfrey, All-American for the Cavaliers, out to Alexis Spanstra. So good with the ball at her feet, and she does get a shot off, but Roque makes the save.
Yeah, much better from the Cavaliers. Good build-up. Unfortunate to hit ricochet off the inside of that post, but it's Godfrey. It's going to be at the central aspects of this entire game. Good work down the right-hand side, and this is the ball that ends up, oh, it's actually off the head. Did look like from our angle initially off the post. Just cleared, though, from the Seminoles back line.
And that was Lainey Rouse, too, the right outside back getting into the attack for Virginia. That's something Steve Swanson, when we talked to him earlier today, said he wanted to see as much as he could. Godfrey, decisions to make in the middle of the field. Spanstra on the move. Spanstra, time to serve, does. In the box, the header, too strong. That is Haley Hopkins, leading scorer for the Cavaliers, 8 goals on the season.
But this is going to be a matchup to look for all game long. Spanstra against the freshman win on this near side. It's a great ball in from Spanstra, just into the head of Hopkins that puts it over the bar. But good build up, good positioning from Spanstra to get herself faced up 1v1 versus Wynn. And the initial entry ball into Godfrey is something that the Cavaliers are going to have to look for all game long, just beyond the midfield line, to see if they can find Godfrey to be able to play make in those areas and send Hopkins and even Spanstra on those through balls.
You know, typically this series has been so tight, dominated by Virginia early on, but this is the 40th meeting. Virginia leads it overall, 21 wins, 10 losses, 8 draws. Only 2 wins, though, and a lot of draws in the last 10 between these two teams. Most of these one-goal affairs. We've had a lot of overtimes, 14 of them, in fact, which, of course, we don't have that anymore in the regular season, but they're used to meeting in the postseason, ACC, NCAA tournaments. There's been one that stands out. That was a 4-3 wild affair back here in Charlottesville. That was the last time Florida State was here. Wonder if this one could have the makings of turning into that 7-goal monster.
We can hope.
We can. I think that was 2019. I'm going to just double check. Actually was 2020, I am being told, so who knows? It's nearly a full moon in Charlottesville tonight. I don't know what could happen. Obviously, Florida State trying to keep that perfect record intact in conference play and remain unblemished overall. Just a couple of draws, both of those, as you alluded to when we came on the air, Lori, happening the first 3 matches for the Seminoles, as there was definitely a feeling out process under their new coach, Brian Pensky, who came over from Tennessee. It's going to be a good matchup right there to keep your eye on. 13, Leilani Nesbitt for Florida State, and then the pressure she's going to feel from Leah Godfrey, number 22 in white for Virginia.
And it goes back to what we were talking about, just what team can keep better possession, move the ball quickly. If Florida State, then Nesbitt can be at the heart of that, moving, dictating the tempo, linking the game. And then if it's Virginia, then they can find Godfrey in those more advanced positions on the outside of Nesbitt where she's the most dangerous.
That was the freshman Cagle, who's gotten herself right into the starting lineup. Now Rouse again up into the attack for Virginia, looking for Hopkins, but it slices through and winds up going out of bounds.
But I like that ball, dangerous, whipped in with speed. Just have to commit some more numbers if you're Virginia. Haley Hopkins the only one looking to get on the end of that one.
Hopkins, a transfer from Vanderbilt. Last year was her first year with the Cavaliers, was named an All-ACC third-team selection. 8 goals, 9 assists last year. She's already equaled that 8-goal output through 12 games this season. Ranked 2nd in the ACC coming into tonight. Joe Atchigini. And the new members of this Florida State team transfer from Mississippi State. Number 6 has been electric. Neiswanger on the run for this ball in the box. Good play made defensively. Florida State wanting a whistle, not going to get it.
But that's Jen, that's a glimpse of the Florida State, though, being a play a bit more direct. We mentioned in years past under Mark Krikorian, very much a possession-oriented team, side-to-side, combinations to break teams down, but it's their directness that adds a little different wrinkle to their play this season. Get into the box quickly.
Do not want to let Jenna Neiswanger unleash with that left foot. Didn't have a ton of space that time. She is so deadly with her service. And often we'll see that on set pieces. Both of these teams have also been dangerous when it comes to corner kicks, free kicks this season. Neiswanger looking for Echegini. That front line for the Seminoles, looking for more, but it is snuffed out by White.
Well, you initially just have to watch Echegini and her movement, stretches the back line, and allows for Neiswanger to get this in between the lines and have the space, even if it is a little bit of a heavy touch. But look at that ball from Neiswanger just into the path of Echegini. And it's White that does well just to smother that ball on the cross. Another good looking attack though from Florida State, and how quickly they can get into that box with numbers. Neiswanger at the heart of it too.
Number 1 team in the nation in scoring, Florida State, and after sputtering just a bit at the start, just those 4 goals in their first 3 matches, they went on a run, Lori, where they had at least 5 goals in 5 straight, and that included as they started into conference play, put up 6 on Boston College, 5 against Louisville. Slowed down a little bit here their last couple. 3-1 win against a ranked Clemson team, and then just a 1-0 win at Miami. Tough place to play, Brian Penske was telling us. That was a penalty.
Slowed down.
Well, you don't think they could keep up 5 goals per game for the rest of the season? Nesbeth's going to ask Roque to figure out how to start this build-up. You know, Brian Penske talked about everybody being able to take a bit of a deep breath in the first of those 5 straight 5-goal games, which was at University of Florida, and 4th game of the season for the Seminoles. Scored early, they were having fun. Certainly gotten off to a great start tonight. Goal in the first minute, giving the Seminoles the lead, and certainly that makes Brian Penske over there on the sideline happy. His first year with the Seminoles, 18th year overall, spent the last 10 at Tennessee, knows Virginia well, also coached at Maryland earlier in his career, 7 years there.
Yeah, and a lot of credit, Jen, to him coming in. Not easy to replace head coach Mark Krikorian. Has been so successful, sending so many of his players into the pros.
Winning national championships,
Absolutely.
going to college cups. Yeah, that's tough.
And I think credit, as we said, to Brian Penske, because started off a little bit slow, and you could be eager as a head coach to come in and want to change things, to make sure you get off to winning ways, but decided to just pump the brakes, settle things down, and stay true to who they are, and really have found their groove.
With a few wrinkles, as you said, that have come as this team has gained confidence not only in themselves, but I think in their head coach. Here's Robbins. Back to the freshman, Sophia Wynn.
And let's be honest, also a ton of credit to the players. I mean, these are exceptional players for Florida State as well, making Brian Penske's job easy, just adding a little bit of different dimensions to their game. But as we can see already, off to a great start, looking for combinations play. The rhythm that they play at, so difficult to defend because it's quick, there's an understanding, and that would have dated back to Mark Krikorian's days as well.
Beata Olsen giving chase here. Big collision on the far side of the field. That will draw a whistle.
Foul on Florida State.
Yeah, clear foul on the far side, just coming through the legs, through Cagle.
Maggie Cagle, freshman out of Phoenix, Arizona, makes her 6th start of the season for Virginia tonight, has 6 assists for the Cavaliers. It's been good. She's been on the field, tied for 2nd in the country in terms of game-winning assists. 5 of her 6 have gone to game winners.
And we'll see how that plays out tonight because she is in a bit of a different position. She has played on that right wing before, but typically in the midfield. But with Rebecca Jarrett out, finds herself higher up the field, and it's Emma Dawson that comes into the midfield.
Yeah, I know that's a tough break for this Virginia team. Not sure Rebecca Jarrett's status. Got a chance, as we said, to catch up with the 2021 ACC Coach of the Year, Steve Swanson, your former coach, earlier today. And he was ready to adjust as needed. And likes this lineup that he's put out there. This is what the team shifted to when Jarrett left the last game. It was against Duke, by the way, 1-0 win against the Blue Devils. This is the 2nd straight top 5 opponent for Virginia, and the 3rd that they've already faced this season. Of course, you might remember that 3-2 come from behind win at North Carolina. Here come the Cavaliers. Spaanstra, her left-footed ball gobbled up. In goal by Roque.
Yeah, Spaanstra continues to find some good spaces. That one has to be cut back, though. It's not going to beat Roque from that angle. It's a few times I've seen Spaanstra get herself into some good positions. Well done from Wynn defensively to at least cut down the angle in the end. That forced Spaanstra to play that right to Roque, but have to commit more numbers in the box if you're Virginia, and at least have a player that's going to threaten in behind, try to get something on that ball sent across.
And I just want to take a second also point out, I love those turquoise uniforms that you see the goalkeepers Roque is wearing tonight, and was reading about that. That is actually to honor the Native American heritage. Obviously a great connection there with Florida State and the Seminole tribe. And it's just to help bring awareness, bring sport, physical activity to Native Americans. Seen the basketball teams at Florida State do it. This is the first time a team other than basketball has worn that turquoise. Not the typical garnet and gold of the Seminoles, but for good reason. Florida State able to take an early lead on the road here in Charlottesville, scoring 47 seconds in. Breaking free, finding Jody Brown for her 4th goal of the season. Talia Stouty carrying it forward for the Cavaliers. It's all the way to the other penalty box. Now Spaanstra working her magic on the outside. Gets what she wants.
Another good look, though, from Spaanstra. This time just trying to cut it back onto her right foot. And that's something the Cavaliers are going to need to continue to look for down this left-hand side. Talked about that matchup between Spaanstra and Wynn, the freshman for Florida State. Couple of dangerous balls served in. Some of the best attacks right now from the Cavaliers.
Lori, where do you feel Virginia can get at this Florida State defense?
Well, I think there's times when they can float the ball in behind to see if they can find Hopkins over the top. Everything's been in front of the back line right now for Florida State, making it easy for them to just drop deep defensively and collect balls like we're seeing right now, and then Neiswanger being able to dictate the tempo in the midfield. But at times they have to move the ball a bit quicker. It's too easy, allowing for Florida State to be able to keep their shape. Move it quickly, look to see if they can find the wide areas, and then whip balls in, especially from Spaanstra on this left-hand side.
Now Spaanstra's had some good looks for service so far. Virginia, the reigning regular season ACC champs, Florida State champions in the ACC tournament, and of course the NCAA tournament last year. It is a battle of champions, as it always is when these two meet. But we just would like to take a moment here while we have one to address some of the news that has surfaced this week. Saw the release, no doubt, of the investigation into the National Women's Soccer League and U.S. Soccer by former U.S. Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, who found both organizations to be fully responsible for systemic abuse and misconduct involving multiple teams, coaches, and victims.
Yeah, massive thank you to the players that were so brave and courageous to come forward to speak their truth and share their story. And really, a thank you and so much love to all the players in general, because this has to be a reckoning for lasting change, for putting the players first, because enough is enough.
Yeah, we've seen that reflected social media everywhere. This has affected all levels of the women's soccer community. Virginia actually released a statement on social media earlier this week, and they wanted to make sure, echoing what you're saying there, Lori, thanking the players and one of their own, and Sinead Fairley, who was brave enough to come out and speak and help to institute the change that we all not only hope but need to see coming.
And Becky Sauerbrunn, former Cavalier and captain of the U.S. Women's National Team, speaking out about the changes that they want to see as well.
U.S. big game tomorrow. Cannot wait for that one in Wembley to take on England. They are in London to take on England. European champions taking on the reigning World Cup champions. Should be great. Virginia in an unfamiliar position here, but this is what this matchup can do to you, and these programs know that. You're going to get tested in ways that maybe you haven't been already. Although, as I said, Virginia, this is their third opponent already ranked in the top 5. What a pass from Hopkins to Godfrey!
And you see the idea from Godfrey trying to feather that ball in with inside her foot into the run of Dawson. But this is a better build-up play. This is the pace at which Virginia has to be able to play at to break down this defense of Florida State. Just been too slow to begin this game, and Godfrey again picks it up in a good position to try to play that ball in behind. Just a little too heavy to find Dawson on that far post.
Godfrey named the ACC Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. All-American in each of her first 2 seasons at Virginia. Pretty impressive what she's done so far. She's also the ACC Offensive Player of the Week, had the game winner in the Cavaliers' last game at Duke. 1-0 the final in that one. I want to tell you about our Sunday best this week. We'll have a women's soccer volleyball quadruple header for you. Boston College squaring off against Louisville to start the afternoon at noon Eastern. Then our 3 volleyball matches, number 9 Pitt at number 10 Georgia Tech, Notre Dame BC, and NC State Wake Forest. All 4 right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. Echegini coming all the way across the field to collect the ball. Brown got the ball right back from Nesbitt, who knew where she wanted to go. Brown once again in a good spot to recollect. Brown, the goal scorer, looking for more. The offside flag is up there on Beata Olson.
Offside, foul against Florida State.
It's just a dangerous area for Godfrey to lose the ball, trying to dribble out of pressure, but a clear offside for Florida State. And well done for Virginia defensively to hold their line. Have to be more aware, though, of the pressure that Florida State will employ once they do lose the ball in their attacking half, get numbers around and pick that one off of Godfrey that allowed for them to get in a bit more of a dangerous area.
By the way, that goal that Florida State scored was just the 5th that Virginia has allowed all season long. Both Florida State and Virginia coming in with just 4 goals against in their games they've played so far. And as much as we talk about Florida State really picking up the offense, their defense has been pretty good too. It's been the case for both these teams.
And outside of that early goal, no real clear opportunities for Florida State. It's been Virginia that's had more of the possession, but the question is what have they done with it? Haven't gotten clear opportunities themselves.
It looks like Florida State has been willing to give Stouty room to probe forward. They're not too incredibly worried about that.
And in terms of the game plan, smart tactically, because we can see it's condensing the space for Godfrey to be able to find room in there to be able to get on the ball and really start to be instrumental in the way that they move it. And that's why there has to be a threat in behind that back line. If they're going to allow Stouty to be able to dribble up and not be contested, then play that ball, loft it over the top, look to see if you can drop that back line of Florida State and then open up the room underneath for Godfrey, for Theoret, or even Dawson coming through. Just so tight right now, and both teams just kind of trying to move it side to side. No penetrating passes.
Cagle plays it back, ball into the box. Hopkins looking for it with her head, nods it down. Out of bounds.
And really that's been the attack right now for Virginia. Gotten the ball wide and then served in some dangerous balls, but it's only been Hopkins in the box contesting for it. And Florida State will be happy with that matchup, just bodying up on Hopkins, not allowing her to get a good look inside the 18-yard box.
I'm curious to see, Lori, because I think you're exactly right, looking at all the numbers that had been around Godfrey, how she then finds herself in some better spaces, because they want her on the ball, Virginia, of course.
And I mentioned Hopkins being that one that threatens in behind, but it actually could be Godfrey coming out of the midfield. Those runs are difficult to track. See if Nesbeth for Florida State is up to the task to follow her out of the midfield. And with the deceptive speed that Godfrey employs, why not? Get in behind, get on the end of one of those balls, and see if you can find yourself in a bit more of a dangerous area than we've seen so far in this first 45.
Brian Pensky really had a lot of good things to say about Leah Godfrey and what a threat she was. Admitted it was tough to pick a player out when he was looking at this Virginia lineup, but she was one that he mentioned along with Hopkins that he knew they'd have to be wary of. He knew Hopkins well, of course, having coached against her when she was at Vanderbilt and he was at Tennessee. Ron Ewai playing that outside back position. This could work out for Echegini. Gets to the end line, and we'll have our first corner kick of the match. Both teams have had some success on set pieces for Florida State. 6 set piece goals, including 4 off of corner kicks.
Well, and it's Echegini that continues to pick up some good spaces to be able to get on the ball and drive at the back line, take on 1v1, earns this corner kick, and Neiswanger is one of the key aspects of this, of their set pieces for Florida State. It's been so dangerous, 1 goal, 2 assists so far this season.
Neiswanger drives it in, winds up for Brown. It's deflected on the way out. It will be another corner, and I think this is where you really get wary of what Neiswanger can do with that left foot and the way she can bend it in from this other corner flag.
The service has been spot on. The players that they have in terms of the aerial battle to be able to get on the end of the service from Neiswanger, excuse me. That was bound to happen.
I was just waiting to get to say the in-swinger from Neiswanger. Managed to get that one out. Let's see what she does. She's put one of these directly in. Good ball in the box. It's 1-1 by Virginia. Guess what? We're going the other side again. And this is a little worrisome when you have to defend this again and again and again. Long trot for Neiswanger all the way to the other side of the field.
But credit to Virginia, just making sure that they're standing their ground. Good defending on that last one. Do give up another corner kick. Winning the first ball airily.
Kayla White stepping into goal this year, senior of Arlington, Virginia, taking over for Laurel Ivory, 5-year starting goalkeeper for the Cavaliers. So Kayla White's had to wait her turn. She's having a tremendous year. That ball, not exactly what Niswanger wanted, and in fact, it could spring a counterattack. Spanstra maybe thought she had another runner closer to the ball. But as I recall that 4-3 score fest back in 2020, there were a number of set-piece goals in that one. Both teams getting in on the action, Florida State in particular.
Well, it's the narrow margins, and we've talked about that throughout so far in the ACC, and the parity even more so this season as well. With these two teams especially, play a similar style, and just the smallest little details that are going to break each other down.
Dawson looking for the diagonal ball. Wanted to get Cagle on the run.
Yeah, and that's the example of just the fine margins. It's Cagle trying to, at the last second, peel herself wide, and Dawson trying to feather it through, just not on the same page.
Rouse just plays it out of bounds. Both outside backs for Virginia absent at the start of the season, both Rouse and Guidry, as they were with the US U20 team at the World Cup. Both of these teams had representatives at that international tournament. Niswanger has time to serve and does. White, nobody there to challenge.
And these are the moments right now, well done from Kayla White, who's been so instrumental defensively and in goal for Virginia. Just collects that easily, but this is where Virginia can start to have an uptick in the movement of the way that they're playing, the movement off the ball, just how they're moving it. Move it quickly, look to see if you can break down Florida State. It's just too easy. You can see Florida State defensively not having to move at all. It's just too slow for Virginia. And it was interesting talking to Brian Pinsky, Jen, coming into this game about what it was going to be like, how his team was going to react if Virginia had more of the possession, something that Florida State's not used to, especially this season. Seems right now throughout this first part of this 45, they're happy to give the possession to Virginia and just back off and then look for some of the transitional moments. Once they win it, can they go quickly and behind?
That's how the goal occurred in the first minute of the match. Nesbeth was on the ground, and Cavaliers quickly taken over. It's Leah Godfrey leading the way. Cagle to her right. Hopkins coming up on her left, but the pass left a little short. Promising attack.
But I like the idea from Cagle to go wide, see if she can pull out the back line. Great run from Godfrey, driving at the back line, and it's Cagle pulling out to the right-hand side. Just under hit, easily picked off for Florida State defensively. Better speed, though, from the Cavaliers.
Smar Guidry to Spanstra. Spanstra being held off the ball. The freshman holding her own there. Win against the veteran fifth-year player in Spanstra. There's Alexis Theoret. I mean, some of these Virginia players and Florida State as well, you feel like they've been here forever with that extra year. They were able to get ball in the box. That could have been tricky with the bounce, but Roque plays it well. I think in all the time we've seen Christina Roque, there's never much of a different expression on her face. She is just so level and even-keeled, despite jumping in as a freshman a couple of years ago, and All-ACC second team, a big-time team she joined, starting in goal. Got our first changes coming into the match now. Lacey McCormick, number 11 for Virginia.
Lacey McCormick, and number 18, Sarah Bruner.
Comes on in place of Claire Constant in the back. And then Sarah Bruner, the other substitution, number 18, replaces Dawson in the midfield. Rouse has been able to get forward on that far side. Good ball right across the edge of the box. Play continues, Hopkins on it now. Step over from Hopkins, who Steve Swanson has said has really worked on the technical side of her game, just adding different aspects. A little slip from Guidry, and Bianna Olsen says, you better release it now. Jody Brown not quite ready. Olsen had to hold up a run to stay on side, and that play fizzles out.
And so much credit to Jody Brown on this right-hand side for Florida State, tracking all the way back to do the work defensively against Spanstra, wins the ball, and then looking to see if she can ignite the attack for Florida State.
Spanstra looking for Bruner, couldn't quite get it over the head of EY. Neiswanger. Met by Godfrey. That's all Neiswanger needed to get it back. Her service off the mark. Under 10 minutes to play in our first half, but it is a 1-0 Florida State advantage as they did not take long, Lori, to get going.
No, and we talked about the direct play coming into this game. That was a new wrinkle to this Florida State team. They do go direct right out of the back, and then it's Jody Brown that makes no mistake about it. Neiswanger finds Jody Brown, falls to her fortuitously, and then she just...
She's not going to miss from there.
Yeah, no, she just rockets that into the back of the net to go ahead 1-0. Really one of the only clear opportunities, though, for Florida State. Make Virginia pay, and then Virginia's had a majority of the possession throughout this first half, but not creating a ton of clear-cut opportunities themselves. A lot of the play been in the central corridors.
Remember, there was that one other moment where Kayla White came out and that front three of Florida State was really charging forward. But yeah, other than that, and aside from the goal, not much. Hopkins has some room to move. Haley Hopkins. Shot, saved, Roque.
Yeah, best opportunity of the game for the Virginia Cavaliers. Exactly where you want Haley Hopkins, just driving at the back line. Good low, hard shot from her. The band, the crowd do a wonderful job of the soundtrack here, letting you know when an opportunity is afoot for Virginia. It was fall break earlier this week on campus, but nobody wanted to miss out on this match. Got them sitting over on the berm across the way. I think they knew you were coming back too, Lori. They didn't want to miss that either. That's a foul. This is going to set up a free kick for the Cavaliers, and watch out because this is dangerous territory now. Yeah, Rouse has been so good when she gets on the ball, looking to just join into the attack for the Cavaliers from that right back position, draws the foul in a dangerous area. It's Ejigini from Florida State that commits the foul right outside the box. Have players like Haley Hopkins, Lacey McCormick that's come on as a substitute, can get on the end of this. Got Leah Godfrey and Alexis Theoret both talking it over. Theoret has a goal directly off a free kick that happened against Louisville earlier this year. And Godfrey, well, she's done that before too. Did it last year against Santa Clara. It is Godfrey looking for a teammate this time. Claire Robbins, ACC Championship MVP a year ago, had the game winner against the Cavaliers in that 1-0 win for the Seminoles. Oh, what fun, though, it is to watch these two teams.
There's a reason they're number 2 and 3 in the country. There's a reason they're part of what I like to call the Big Four in the ACC, which we will talk more about at halftime. You can decide for yourself if it's still a good tag or not. Here comes Olsen. She's really all alone in a sea of white around her. Now Brown coming up behind her, and things just developing slowly, but Virginia allowing it to. Brown closed in. Robbins saying, no, go back outside.
Well, that's good from Virginia. They did have a 4v1 situation once Olsen picked up the ball and was driving at the back line. Just opted to slow things down, allow for numbers to get behind the ball.
Neiswanger looking for Brown. Stouty heads it down. Robbins, edge of the area. We know she can strike from distance. That was the game winner in the ACC championship. It was about 30 yards out. Hopkins, a couple of runners who are outside. Spencer doing her best to get free. Meanwhile, Hopkins sandwich, she goes down. Robbins and the Seminoles take over. Neiswanger, options to her right and her left, goes herself, and White's got it covered.
Well, it's good awareness from Hopkins initially, looking to see if she can play this ball and combine on the outside. Sees that she can get herself freed up. That's actually a really good tackle from Florida State to win this ball, just sandwich her, and then be able to attack with numbers up to find Neiswanger in the end. Gets an opportunity on goal, and that's the only area for the Virginia Cavaliers that they're going to want to be mindful of is when they do lose the ball, do they have players behind in good positions to cut off the pass, because Neiswanger's been influential in this game when she's running at the back line. And Chigini on the other side, and then Jody Brown, who's put her team up early in the first minute also.
Spanstra. Bruner, one of the subs that have come on in this first half for the Cavaliers. Now back to the other one, Lacey McCormick, senior who came off the bench. Stouty, this is what Florida State's allowing to concede. Can Stouty and the Cavs make him pay? Guidry from the wing. Godfrey. ACC Offensive Player of the Week. To Guidry. Good looking ball in the box. Hopkins the header. Just misses.
Well, it's the best opportunity of the game for the Cavaliers. Just getting a little bit of space. It starts with Guidry. Look at this ball in to Hopkins, who just loses her mark in the box. Can't make great contact, just sends that just wide of the goal. But that's a great ball from Guidry, just into the path of Hopkins, who we see time and time again put those away with her ability in the air, inside the box, just falling away in the end. Those opportunities out wide for the Cavaliers have to continue to find those wide spaces, because it's the Florida State Seminoles converging centrally when they're on defense, leaving out those wide channels wide open for the Cavaliers to be able to operate in.
Each team making some changes there after that chance from Virginia. Maria Alagoa, Caitlin Zippe, Olivia Garcia, all coming on for the Seminoles. Meanwhile, Sarah Clark, Maya Carter, and Jill Flamia, the three changes for the Cavaliers. Good to see Flamia, number 19, out there in the midfield. She's a player who knows Steve Swanson's real high, and this is a really talented recruiting class that's come in. She's been dealing with a bit of an injury, and the subs making an impact now as they do earn Virginia first corner of the match.
Well, it's been an uptick in the intensity of when the subs have come on, just moving the ball quicker, finding space, moving up the ball, and it's a threatening in behind the back line of Florida State that's given them these opportunities at winning them some set pieces as well.
Couple of goals off corners this season for the Cavaliers. It'll be the grad transfer from Purdue. Sarah Clark plays it short. Now the service just into the top of the net, and it has been, you talk about fine margins, I mean, that's what Virginia has been missing by here in this first half.
Yeah, they're getting themselves in good positions now. As I mentioned, moving the ball quicker, freeing themselves up, and Cagle knows she needs to do better with that final pass, especially once she breaks free.
There's some of that direct play that Florida State has added into the mix this year. Garcia trying to make a move around the defense, which says, not this time. Bruner. Flamia making some moves. Look at the most of this opportunity to get on the field. Spanstra. Ball in a box and a quick redirection. Okay, in the right spot.
And this time it's from Spanstra. That's a good little cutting ball.
10 seconds.
You got to give credit, though, to the Seminoles doing a good job of getting numbers back and
5, 4,
not giving
3,
the Cavaliers clear looks on goal.
Now that was Maya Carter, who just come on, took the ball from Bruner, quick touch toward the goal, but that first goal, Lori, in the first 47 seconds, standing up so far.
Yeah, we talked about the fine margins. Great start to the game for the Seminoles, but it'll be Virginia that work their way back and starting to show some variety in the way that they can attack, whether it's get wide, serve balls in, or go straight through the middle.
Florida State trying to remain unbeaten on the season, stay perfect in conference play. They come in with a 4-0-0 mark. At the early goal, they lead it by 1 on the road here at Virginia. Brian Penske in his first year with the Seminoles in charge, and he's getting the headset on, getting set to join us now. Coach, great start for your team, huh? How did that help you in this big match on the road?
I think that's pretty self-explanatory. 45 seconds in, that's obviously here at Klockner against this team, that's a nice way to start.
Yeah, and Brian, you know, you talk about getting your outside backs forward to help into the attack, but also dealing with Godfrey, not leaving yourself exposed. How do you feel like that went the first 45, and what do you need to do to keep it to get the equalizer and maybe a go-ahead goal?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate in that first minute we gave up that goal. You know, it kind of bounced their way, and give her credit for finishing it. But I thought we did some good things there in the first half. We just got to get a little more better decisions in transition. I felt there were times it was on and we went, and then there were other times it wasn't, and we gave the ball back to them too easily, you know. And so we just got to do a better job of making decisions in possession, whether it's on to go, and if it's not, just taking our time and working our way up the field, you know, putting the pressure on them a little bit.
Steve, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Both coaches, I thought, really giving us some good things to look for here in the second half. As you'd expect, these two, they know how to handle themselves, and as do these two teams at a high level. What a contest tonight. Virginia actually out-shooting Florida State in that first half, 6-3. 1 save for Kayla White in goal, 4 for Christina Roque on the other end for Florida State. Virginia in white on their home field, this beautiful field at Klockner Stadium in Charlottesville. It was a day, sunny, bright, 70s here, gorgeous, cooling off a little bit tonight. As Maggie Cagle knocked off the ball, Seminoles take it away, but Cavaliers quickly back on it. And it looks like number 19, Flamia, starts the second half for Virginia there in the midfield. Freshman makes just her 5th appearance of the season. She receives the ball here, Flamia asking for it back. Obviously there's something in this freshman Steve Swanson liked when she came on the field that first half. Robbins to Neiswanger, quick touch. Neiswanger wanted to go straight to Jody Brown. See Virginia putting 4 of their 6 shots on goal, keeping Christina Roque busy, but Jody Brown, the goal scorer, and just about even in possession in the first half. Both of these teams love to keep the ball, very good at doing so. As Brian Penske, Florida State head coach, said, can we be brave enough when we need to? Not proud, not too proud to go forward. Doesn't always have to be pretty. It's Virginia on the attack now. Guidry on the far side. Lainey Rouse will collect it here on the near side. Cagle to Godfrey, ACC Offensive Player of the Week. Nesbitt doing all she can to break things up. And this time she's going to get whistled for the foul.
Yeah, Nesbitt has been good though, keeping an eye on Godfrey in the midfield, making sure that she doesn't get an easy turn. We'll be happy just to give up that foul rather than allow Godfrey to be able to turn and start running at the back line of the Seminoles.
So an early free kick opportunity here. Godfrey and Alexis Theoret once again talking it over. Both are 2 really good options. Godfrey can strike the ball a long way, but even this might need a little bit of help. Gets the touch. Now she'll strike it, and the bounce is the 5th save of the match for Christina Roque.
And I like that idea from Virginia to roll it into Godfrey's path, to fire from distance. Had a bit of swerve on it, Roque as well, to keep a hold of it, doesn't give up the rebound, as there were players for the Cavaliers looking to pounce on it inside the box. A better start to this half for the Cavaliers than the first half, giving up the early goal to Jody Brown.
Cagle to Hopkins. Haley Hopkins, leading scorer for the Virginia Cavaliers this season. 8 goals, 2 assists, had a couple of good opportunities in the first half.
Well, it's the pressure from Virginia forcing the Seminoles back in this early moments of the second half, and Haley Hopkins trying to get on the end of it, just couldn't allow for it to drop enough. We're gonna get a good look on that last attempt.
Christina Roque shoos everyone away from her as she takes the long run up for this goal kick. Bianna Olsen pops it off her head. Spanstra, not exactly the ball she wanted, but still the Cavaliers in control. Claire Constant, 5th-year Cavalier in the back. Appeared internationally for Haiti, number 12 on the ball. Guidry crisscrossing the field, but eventually just plays it square for Rouse. That could be the ball that unlocks things. Cagle played it. Hopkins right at the penalty spot, drifts a little bit outside, now turns. She'll say it was last touched by Florida State, and it was.
Well, really good feet, really good movement from Hopkins, just away initially and then comes inside to receive it. Here's a little combination play on the near side that allows Rouse to get into that advanced position, just picks out Hopkins. And then good feet to keep this one moving, draw the defenders, and then earn the corner kick in the end. Much better rhythm, much better pace to the way that the Cavaliers are playing in these opening minutes of the second 45.
Theoret, little too high. Stouty, the senior out of Atlanta, Georgia, center back up there trying to get on the end of the service into the box. Well, last year she had 1 goal on the season, Stouty. It was a game winner off a corner kick, happened in the 90th minute at NC State, en route to an unbeaten season in the ACC for Virginia. They went 8-2 to win the regular season title last year, just their 3rd in program history. Cavaliers clinched that regular season title. In the finale down in Tallahassee, it was a 1-1 draw between these two teams, but they would meet again not too much longer in the ACC championship game. And we're looking forward to that ACC tournament. It's going to be here before you know it. Top 6 teams will make it to Cary, North Carolina. Well, technically, top 4.
I mean, I don't even know how we're in October already.
I know, it's flying by. And we talked Big 4 at halftime. This is the first of 3 straight Big 4 matchups that we'll have on our Thursday night primetime matchup for you here on ACCN. We're going to be following the Seminoles. They've got quite a stretch coming up. They host Duke and then North Carolina the next 2 Thursdays, and sandwiched in between, not easy either. They go on the road to Notre Dame this Sunday. That one's a little earlier, by the way, in case you just saw that. Be ready. Usually we're later matchup, so we're going to be on a little bit earlier next week. You don't want to miss it. Duke, Florida State should be great. Nice moves by Spanstra, showing off a little bit. Loves that cutback. Really is making Lauren Flynn work defensively. Spanstra. That's enough of a bump from the defense, but here into the box is Rouse, the header! Oh, it's saved!
Well, what a terrific stay from Roque for Florida State. Keeps her team up 1-0 because that's an excellent play. It starts from Spanstra from the far side, and then look at these few touches from Rouse to be able to get herself free, and then a beauty of a ball right into the head of Hopkins, and you can see the reaction afterwards. Knows that was fine in the back of the net, and then a strong hand from Roque just to put it over the crossbar.
Another corner kick now for the Cavaliers. They only had one in the first half, and again, they're gonna opt to play it short. Now, perhaps, we'll get to see Godfrey serve it on the ground. Plenty of time and space. The shot. Oh, Roque was blocked too. Tough for the goalkeeper to see through all that crowd.
And it does look like that maybe came off of Robin's toe in the end. As she went to block it, Guidry continues to have such a good game from that left back position, cutting inside. Ultimately thought she could have gone first time, but good first touch to set herself up, and then there's that touch in the end. Good pace on it. Robin just gets a toe as she's stretching out. Keep that one out of the back of the net, because I think that one was snuck in. Well done from Guidry, just keep it low, drive it hard through traffic.
Sarah Robbins, senior, a little bit deceiving. It's actually her 7th season with the Seminoles. What a career she's had, what a save that was. Virginia, though, starting to taste a little success. They're getting opportunities. Another ball from Hopkins, and again, it's Roque.
Yeah, good bout of play for the Virginia Cavaliers, earning some set pieces, winning the second balls, and then dangerous service in from the wide areas, and Hopkins continues to be the target inside the box. That one was always going to be tough to generate enough power to get past Roque. Just handles it easily.
Jody Brown, the goal scorer, up to Robbins, the goal saver a moment ago. Both equally important to maintain this 1-0 scoreline for the Seminoles. Nice Wonger. That took a deflection on the way in, but White on the ground, no problem. Been a lot of Virginia to start first 10 minutes of this second half. Echegini won the ball well, but then really had to go it on her own.
Good defending, really good defending from Gilchrist to read the play early, come over.
That ball stayed in. Stouty. Hopkins was starting to make her move. Flynn broke it up.
And it's the counter movement from Hopkins that's so good. She baits her defender, checks in, and then look to get in behind the space that she just vacated.
You feel like goal number 9 is not that far away from Haley Hopkins. Just had a few near misses.
But these are the exact moments that Coach Steve Swanson was talking about. You can be patient, but still move the ball quickly. Look for those combination plays once you draw out the defense for Florida State.
Godfrey is just given no breathing room. Nesbitt is all over her anytime the All-American touches the ball for the Cavaliers.
And when we talk about the fine margin, Jen, that's where the Virginia Cavaliers are going to have to find that open player, because if Nesbitt is on Godfrey or they're double teaming Godfrey, there's a free player. Just have to make themselves available from the ball carrier.
And the 2 runners curled off, Flamia and Cagle that time. Stouty wasn't ready to serve it though, so now Virginia will try again. Devise a new plan of attack. Roque, meanwhile, 7 saves tonight, season high. It's 2 off her career high. I mean, she came into tonight with only 13 total saves in her previous 6 appearances in the season so far. Florida State on a 7-match winning streak coming into tonight, where they've outscored their opponents now 31-2 if you include the goal tonight. And the only 2 that they've conceded in that stretch been penalty kicks. And nothing in the run of play, only 2 goals scored against Florida State in the run of play. And both of those happening in those first 3 games. But Virginia certainly testing the Seminoles so far tonight. Brown. This lining up is trouble. Olsen in the box, takes the shot, and then White there to grab it.
And those are the moments when Florida State is at their best. You know, sitting back, absorbing the attack from the Cavaliers, and then quickly, as we heard Brian Pinsky say, looking to see if they can catch the Cavaliers in transition. Not a bad opportunity.
Hopkins wanted to turn and go. And the freshman Heather Gilchrist, number 20 for Florida State, one of their 2 center backs, turned that attempt away. Claire Constant experimented a bit in the midfield. And we'll drop back into that more natural center back position where we've been used to seeing her for the Cavaliers. Just about everybody pushed forward for Virginia right now in this attack. It finds its way to Hopkins. Flamia outside of the foot will get it back. Godfrey, this is where she's dangerous, it's blocked. I mean,
yep.
That's Godfrey territory,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, and those are the combinations they should look for, the second ball to find Godfrey, because the initial pass, we've seen Nesbitt all over her, good defensively from the defensive midfielder for Florida State, just denying her ability to in the build-up, but once they get in and around the goal, Godfrey is the player that you want on the ball, looking to shoot from distance.
She gets past Nesbitt this time. Here comes Godfrey. Lays it off unselfishly. Back across, headed down. Cagle, nice look. Not much on the header attempt. Here it comes again, better. Virginia still coming. It's not over yet for the Florida State defense. Flamia tries her luck, and it's tapped up and over.
And it's the freshman getting into the mix. This is exactly why Steve Swanson talked about Flamia being such a good addition to this team. Just great first touch to set herself up and then just rifles this one on frame. You can see the last second, Roque just getting two hands underneath it to put it over the crossbar.
If Florida State manages to shut out this Virginia team tonight, that is going to be just a massive achievement. Another corner kick for the Cavaliers. Flamia. Godfrey, Flamia can turn. It's the front line. That is Brown and Echegini both in there helping out everybody on defense at the moment for Florida State. Guidry saw an opening, didn't quite place it there.
Goal kick for Florida State.
Saturday morning, the ACC Huddle Crew will get you set for another full day of football. And then at 6:30, you'll get a complete wrap-up of the afternoon's games as they get you set for the primetime matchup between Florida State and NC State. It's all right here on ACCN and the ESPN app. After that early burst from the Seminoles, not as much in the attack. They've had to do a lot of defending, especially here in the second half. Roque's save total now up to 8. Again, that is a season high. It's one off her career high. It's a more offensive-minded lineup, I think, with Flamia in there. Got the start in the second half in place of Dawson. Remember, no Rebecca Jarrett tonight for Virginia. Went out of the last match with injury.
Yeah, you make a good point, Jen. Just a bit more movement in the midfield for the Cavaliers, and a lot of credit, though, to the outside backs for Virginia. Rouse and Guidry doing such a good job of their positioning. We're seeing Guidry pinch in at times, almost playing as an additional midfielder. Getting a few shots on goal, but also serving balls into the box to look to see if she can find Hopkins now on the run.
Yeah, look at Guidry go. Kind of ran out of steam there as she met with a couple of Seminole defenders.
But then Rouse on this near side, staying a bit wider as Guidry's pinching in. Rouse looking to combine, getting herself into more advanced positions as well. That added a lot to the attack tonight, pinning the wingers for Florida State back. One of the reasons why we've seen them so much more defensive in the second half.
And this is the change we just talked about. So Flamia will come off. And Emma Dawson, one of the captains for the Cavaliers, will come back in. Look at those hugs on the sideline. Appreciative not only of the work that Flamia, the freshman, did on the field, but I think just the fact that she was able to get back on the field. She's had to battle through some injuries to get there. We might see her again, too. You are allowed a re-entry in the second half in college soccer.
We talked about coming into this game, Jen, some of the overhaul that both of these teams had to do, and it's one thing that Steve Swanson credited is the freshman class coming in, done really well right from the beginning, and Flamia, one of those players, Cagle, another.
And they still have players you know well, like Spanstra. Oh, it's batted away. The paw of Roque got to the ball. And this is going against Virginia, and nobody in white likes that.
well, there's the initial ball served in, and Roque continues to put herself in great positions to make sure she gets a strong hand on it. And this is Jody Brown, Echegini, tracking all the way back, doing this defensive work. I'm not really sure there's a foul on either team there. I thought they would just continue to play. Both players battling it out.
By the way, I just want to get on my goalkeeper soapbox for a moment and say that if we're going to give out second assists in college soccer, we should call that a save. When Roque bats it away like that, of course, it doesn't officially count as a save. I just think it should. And I'm
probably talking
stepping
about the
down
Big
now.
Four as well.
Just get that in there?
Exactly.
We covered that at halftime. It's been an incredible effort, both offensively in the second half by Virginia. Their shot total now 13-4 for the Seminoles. And a pretty impressive defensive effort, too, and it is taking everybody in Garnet right now. You talked about Echegini coming back and defending, Roque, a save off, her career high. And the forwards aren't getting much action in the attack, but they are having to come back and defend. And now Brown's going to come out, Neiswanger's going to come out.
Number 18, Maria Alagoa. And number 19,
Alagoa
Amelia Horton.
and Amelia Horton, the two players to come on for the Seminoles. Looks like Virginia's going to make a change here as well. They'll bring Brianna Jablanowski. Did not see the junior in the first half, but 2 goals, 2 assists on the season. She comes on to replace Cagle. Virginia has been shut out a couple of times this season. They had a 0-0 draw against VCU back in September. 1-0 loss at Notre Dame. That's their only loss on the season so far. A little slip, gives the ball to Alagoa and the Seminoles. Olsen was running free on the outside. Big tackle made there by Constant. Now it's Nesbeth savoring any opportunity to get forward, where she has played most of her career. Asked to play a deeper role, Leilani Nesbeth, this season for the Seminoles, and has excelled at it, holding midfield spot. Nobody really stepping up to stop the ball. There is a shot. Flynn, I think that was, who carried the ball all the way forward for Florida State. Still, the Seminoles, this has been rare territory in this match, have not been able to get into the attacking third much, and a half-hearted effort in the end from EY. Rouse let it get away a little bit. A lot of questions for Florida State coming into this season. Mark Krikorian stepping away from the program as head coach. Heard he's in the audience tonight, by the way. President of soccer operations now for the Washington Spirit in the NWSL. Cross toward the goal. Hits the top of the net. I remember Brian Penske telling us too, Lori, that there were 9 players officially on the roster when he took over. The rest were in the transfer portal, and many of them did transfer. So he essentially had to re-recruit the ones who are here, able to bring in a couple more, but that left some questions as to what Florida State would look like. And the first 3 matches those questions remained as they stumbled a little bit. They're still unbeaten. They're on a 19-match unbeaten streak dating back to last season. But after those first 3, that's when things really started clicking. 5 straight matches of at least 5 goals for the Seminoles. Now the #1 scoring offense in the country. And if I hadn't just told you that, or you hadn't heard us say it earlier, I think you would have thought that's reversed. The way that Virginia has been attacking and attacking in this match. I gave you a lot of points just there to think about. You can go back to, I talked for about 5 minutes. You go back at any one of those that you want to follow up on.
Well, I think it just continues to be credit to these players at Florida State and Brian Pinsky, because, you know, one thing that he said to us, and it was very matter of fact, when he came and took the job at Florida State, he knew that some of these players were going to move on, to your point about being in the portal to look to see if they're going to transfer, because not only had they committed to Florida State originally, but they had also committed to Mark Krikorian and being coached by him and not knowing what it was going to be like under Brian Pinsky. So no hard feelings, he said. He just knew he had to come in and, you know, keep things the way they were because they'd been so successful, but also start to put his stamp on the way that they wanted to play and just add a few additional things. And to your point as well, Jen, just about how many goals they've scored. They've really weathered the storm early on, but then found their groove, haven't looked back, and even in this match have done well enough defensively and got that early goal to keep their lead so far.
Florida State hanging on for dear life at the moment. Goal 47 seconds in, and they have had a couple more opportunities, especially in the first half. It's not like it has been all Virginia since then. This has been a wonderfully played match, as expected, between these two powerhouses, number 2 and 3 in the country right now. But it's been a lot more about defending. It's had to be for Florida State in this second half. Dawson back in the match for Virginia, number 14, and the captains for this Cavalier team. Maya Carter, number 26, came flying across there. She came on a few moments ago. So both teams, a couple of changes in terms of personnel on the field at the moment. Clark is one of those, on the ball now at outside back. So as Clark came on for Guidry, Rouse shifted over to the far side in terms of that back four for the Cavaliers. Stouty being pressured by Caitlin Zippe, redshirt sophomore, the point of the Seminole spear at the moment. Flynn does love to charge forward when given opportunity. Does that leave the Seminoles a bit vulnerable? Still a lot of numbers defending. Spanstra, some oohs and ahs from the crowd as they were hoping for more. Virginia right now playing in the stretch of what Steve Swanson says, and this is his 23rd season at Virginia, maybe the toughest he's ever gone through in terms of what the last 5 games have looked like. They played at number 2 North Carolina, at number 18 Notre Dame. They were home against Louisville, at number 4 Duke, and now tonight home against number 3 Florida State. And Florida State, meanwhile, get ready. This, I told you about their schedule, what's coming up, we'll have you covered. Watching that as well as they get set to go through a very difficult stretch of their schedule. Remember, with the re-entries, you'll see some of these players coming back on for both teams. Nice Wonger back for Florida State. Rebecca Jarrett, hate to see her on the sideline. Obviously last year in what was supposed to be her senior season, we saw that season cut short with injury, and then she went down with injury again and not received any official word yet as to her status, just no, not available tonight for the Cavaliers. Clark. Now Dawson. No Godfrey at the moment for Virginia. Saw her come off, get a little bit of a rest. Imagine she will be back. Cagle blocked the clearance attempt. Stouty coming up from center back. Dawson. Good quick connections for the Cavaliers. It's blocked.
And they are quick little counter movements to create those combinations, but they still have to continue to find the wide areas. Florida State throughout this game has done so well defensively in the central corridors.
Number 10, Jody Brown.
Jody Brown coming back on, a big part of the offense for Florida State that is number 1 in the country coming into tonight. Held to just 1 goal so far. She scored it. And that defense, not too bad either. Virginia came in, by the way, tied for 2nd in the nation in terms of goals against average. Both of these teams had conceded 4 goals coming into tonight, but Virginia had just played a couple more matches. Just about 12 minutes to play. What a job Christina Roque has done tonight defensively for the Seminoles. It's not over yet. Rouse now on the far side of the field. Gets it central, gets past everybody.
Goal kick for Florida State.
I want to give you our Week 6 college football lineup on ACCN and the ESPN app. On Saturday, Virginia hosting Louisville. That's at noon Eastern. Then Virginia Tech is in Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers. And we'll cap off the day with our ACCN primetime matchup, Florida State and 14th ranked NC State, that one at 8. This really the big matchup of the night, of the season so far, quite frankly, in ACC women's soccer, with these two teams going head-to-head here in Charlottesville. Jen Hildreth, former Cavalier Lori Lindsay, glad to have you with us on our ACCN Thursday night primetime matchup. An early goal from Florida State. 47 seconds into the match. Will it be enough? Now Stouty would love to have let that ball play to her goalkeeper, but Florida State having none of it. Tough run. And Jablonowski does draw the foul. Band in the house tonight at Klockner Stadium. Adding to what has been a great atmosphere all night long. Crowd getting a bit restless though. An opportunity maybe. Carter trying her best to slide for it. Whole slew of starters ready to come back in for Virginia. Next opportunity. Hopkins, Godfrey, 2 leading scorers for the Cavaliers amongst them, along with the freshman Flamia. And Samar Guidry.
Yeah, sorry, Jen. Cagle's done a good job of drawing some fouls in some important areas for the Cavaliers. Setting up right outside the box again.
Yeah, they'd have to wish they had some of those players we just mentioned on at the moment, but they don't. Godfrey typically would be one of the best options to take this, but Theoret pretty good as well. It looks like Clark, maybe Cagle. Clark driven into the area, still bouncing around.
You have to give Florida State a ton of credit defensively. We haven't seen much in the way of the attack, especially in the second half from the Seminoles. But defensively, have stayed tight with their marks in dangerous areas. The best looks from the Cavaliers have been from the wide areas, serving balls in, and Florida State doing a good job of converging into those areas, getting numbers behind the ball, making it predictable for themselves, and then also Roque easily handled there on that attempt for Florida State. Kayla White just picks it up and resets play, but Roque on the other side doing such a good job of just marking the box, making sure nothing finds the back of the net, and a collective performance so far in this game from Florida State away from home. Done enough so far. Keep Virginia off the scoreboard.
Coming back in for Florida State, number 6, Cody Edgy.
The subs are actually starting to come on the field for Virginia. Had to be pushed back. Ball stayed in play. Ball over the top. Has a chance. Virginia in the box looking for the equalizer. Cagle down to the ground. It's saved. Now it's saved again in front of the goal. Cagle still down in the penalty area, but a barrage of shots coming in from the Cavaliers. Theoret. That looked to be a handball. It's not called. Pretty close range. Two Seminole players not wearing a goalkeeper jersey just made two huge saves. Virginia doing this, as I mentioned, with some of their leading scorers and their stars finally now getting a chance to come in the match, but look at this.
Well, it goes back to the exact point I was making, just collectively. Look at the defenders getting behind the ball, getting behind Roque, the goalkeeper for Florida State. Just three different shots from Virginia. Players coming up big for Florida State to make the play. The commitment to get behind the ball, to keep it out of the back of the net.
That foul has lots of people up on their feet and more. Free kick coming. Can Florida State continue to keep the Cavs at bay?
And here's the throw in, just a hard tackle, doesn't even attempt to go for the ball, gets the entire player. It's Cagle down again. Talked about her moments ago, drawing important fouls.
Godfrey. Under 6 minutes to play, Flamia. Hopkins covered by Nesbitt and out for a goal kick.
And for a player that has spent her entire career higher up the field, she's been a nuisance in the best way possible throughout this game, sticking to Godfrey when necessary. Flamia, when she's come on, put herself in a great position just in front of that back four. Nesbitt just deny some good opportunities from the Cavaliers, and that time just tracking back, seeing that ball out over the end line to win her team a goal kick.
Our referee stopped things for a moment, maybe a warning of time wasting, but this has been what Roque has done all night long. Sends everybody out, take their time on the goal kicks, long run up.
Money for the Cavaliers right now too. Just keep your head, make sure you continue to keep the ball in play, maximize the time that's left on the clock, excuse me. I'm fired up too.
You should maximize the time left on the call. It's been everything that we expected. I mean, just the one goal, it feels like there definitely should be more in it, but it has been so impressive what the Seminole team has done. You've talked about it defensively. Roque now is at her career high with 9 saves on the night. There have been 3 that I can remember, saves from other Seminole players as well. But now numbers, a chance, Hopkins. Cagle calling for it on the far side. Can Hopkins find her? Instead to Godfrey. Godfrey spinning around. Guidry, plenty of time. Knows where she wants to go. Stays in the area. Cagle through traffic. Guidry. Heart rate's raising amongst everyone in orange and navy. Watching the players in white for Virginia on their home field tonight. Just push and push in the attack. Cagle knocked down again. It'll be a free kick. Crowd not happy with it. She's been on the ground a lot here these last few minutes, but it is another wonderful opportunity.
Well, it's almost the exact same play. It's Cagle receiving the ball and then putting herself in between the ball and the defender and just draws the foul.
Better ball from Godfrey, but...
And that has been the difference, though, in this game. They've earned some really dangerous set pieces, the Cavaliers. Just haven't made the most of them. It's just underhit or overhit. And when you have a player like Hopkins in the box, just serve it in with pace, let her get on the end of it.
Yeah, it's been an area of set pieces. Both teams have been dangerous. They've proven to be so thus far this season, but I think you're right. Virginia will feel they could have, should have done more with some of what they were given in this match.
Well, also outside of the response of conceding the goal in the first minute, really worked their way into this game. We saw the last 10 minutes of the first half, more variety in their attack, and then it's been all Cavaliers in the second 45.
Top 5 matchup in ACC women's soccer tonight, but second-ranked Virginia staring at what would be their second ACC loss of the season if they cannot find the equalizer. Hopkins giving chase. Played out of bounds by Gilchrist. 2 minutes and change left here in Charlottesville. Flamia. Good composure by the freshman, takes her time, but Nesbitt has been everywhere defensively.
And she's made the defenders that much better tonight because she's made it predictable. She stayed with her marks, done her job, screening the back line.
Rouse. Bouncing ball, not where it needed to be. She's been good though. Rouse has really gotten up on both sides of the field. She's played both back positions at times tonight.
Her and Guidry.
Yeah, Guidry's certainly had her own forays to the front. How about Spanstra? Does she have a moment left in her? Flamia. Miss Virginia have a hero on the field tonight. So far, the heroics have belonged to the Florida State defense. Countdown on, final minute of play. Cagle tries her best to get around EY. It is out, it's a corner. Virginia will hurry to set it down as the clock ticks away. Clock is stopped now at the moment. After this last play, EY still down on the ground for Florida State. "21 shots for Virginia on the night. That is the most that Florida State has faced in a match all season. Fifth corner kick of the second half for Virginia. We said they had to do better on their set pieces. They're going to get another chance right now. Theoret, goalkeeper White all the way up at midfield. 30 seconds to go. Gidry. A lot of hope and prayer on that ball, but not a lot of players around it. Still a chance.
10 seconds.
It's a corner, but Virginia's got to
8,
hurry.
7, 6, 5, 4.
There's 2 balls there.
3,
Will they get it in play in time?
1.
They won't. Florida State with the early goal finds a way incredibly to hang on and get the win on the road here in Charlottesville.
Yeah, narrow margins, exactly what we thought coming into this game. 2-3 matchup. It would be the first minute goal that would be the difference. It would be the Virginia Cavaliers showing a lot of promise in the attack, putting this Florida State team under a lot of pressure, hanging on defensively. They did well enough collectively as a unit to be able to keep Virginia at bay.
Incredible defensive effort by Roque and the rest of the Seminoles as Jody Brown's goal in the first minute stands tall tonight. Florida State winners on the road, 1-0 over Virginia. We're going to come back here to Charlotte.